it's happened again. Yet another Sonicare has died. So we've got through 4 of these probably now. And this one was the latest that I'd had. And I took meticulous care of this one, as you can see, keeping it dry from water from the bottom and on the top here, especially where the weak point, which was the rubber gasket, where water got in, or through here. But we've got a new fault. My shaft is all wobbly. So I don't know if it's broken or come loose, but something inside has disconnected somewhere. Now the only difference to this one was every night and every time I used it, I took the head off to wipe it and allow it to dry naturally in the air. So has that caused premature damage? Obviously every time I used it, I put the head on. When I finished, took the head off and dried it both ends, which is why it looks pretty good after about 2 years and a couple of months. But it's died again, so now I obviously can't use it now, of course, because it doesn't really work properly. It just flops around in the breeze. Now, interestingly, the battery never seems to be the thing that fails for us on these ones. It's always normally water getting in and frying the electrics, because once you open them, they're absolutely soaked inside. But for this one, new type of fault, something snapped inside, so it's pretty much useless. The gasket seems to have survived okay. I don't see any immediate splits on that. And indeed at the bottom, looks pretty good here. Doesn't look like any water's got in. But yeah, broken. Thankfully I did register it with Philips, and to their credit they have sent me a new model. It's not the same as this one. I think this one's been discontinued now, so it's the 4300 version. But I've received that and they want me to dispose of this one correctly. So I'm going to open it up, at least to get the battery out, and then it can be disposed of properly using electronic disposing methods correctly. So yes, that's a shame, because you can see this one, after all that time of use, it's looking really clean. But has taking the head off and putting the head on every time damaged it. So you only seem to get about a couple of years out of these, really. That's what we find. After about 2 or so years, something fails on them. Of course, the previous video, that was going haywire during the night. It would just suddenly switch on and vibrate, which was pretty scary. And then prior to that, they would just stop working, or because they got water in them. So let's open it up. And as we know from previous videos, it's a destructive task to open these. There isn't an easy way. You have to snap the bottom. There's tabs either side, you have to snap them to get it open. You can't really get anything in here correctly, so it's sadly destructive method to open them, which is a real shame, because if you could open it to repair it, i.e. replace the battery or dry it out, you could probably get some more life out of it. And certainly with the one that powered on during the night, I dried that one out, put it all back together again, and it does work, but of course the bottom's all mashed, so not very good, but it's good as a spare. Anyway, let's open it up. The manual now states that you're supposed to hit this and this with a hammer to break the seal, break the tabs inside, and then using a screwdriver here you can tear the back out. I want to try and open it as best I can, so I'm going to do that, but I won't show you that. You can see that in previous videos. I just want to see what's snapped up here. Okie doke. So I've used the spudger just to kind of get in there and make a bit of a gap, and then what did I use? This screwdriver just to pry in, kind of just keep prying both sides, and eventually you can kind of get in here. But as you can see, it's kind of mashed up this lid a little bit, which is a shame. Same with the body as well. Look, see, that's, you know, a mess. But right, next thing will be to what they say in the manual is you've got to bang it down here hard to break all this seal. But I'm going to see if I can get it out again without too much breakage. Yeah, okay, what I did, I just pressed down there. I didn't bang it, I just pressed and kept on pressing and kept on the pressure until it popped. And there we go. Again, familiar sight. All our test points. So what's broken? See, on first glance it doesn't look too bad. It's not just that screw that's loose, is it? I mean, it's under quite a lot of vibration when it's in use, so it's not surprising they eventually wear. I mean, you can see it's quite well designed, but over time, all that use. At least though, interestingly, it is completely dry in here. So drying it off after every use does indeed stop it from getting wet in here. So that's lovely. Normally when you take these apart, they're soaking inside because water's got in. It's just one of those things, isn't it? It's always a wet device, you put it down, capillary action sucks the water up, or this slightly splits, this gasket here, and water comes down. But yeah, that's looking nice. Let me just screw that little crosshead screw in with a tiny screwdriver. I was ready with the hammer to open it, but didn't need it in the end. Oh, it is loose. That screw is loose. Don't say that's all it is. I think that's all it is. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's ridiculous. Why was that not either at least Loctited, or if it was Loctited, why didn't they just have that as a rivet or something? Weld it. That feels fine. Look at that. It's fixed. Oh, Philips, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what's happened. That's why that's come loose. So it hadn't broken. All that happened is that over time, that little crosshead screw had worked its way loose. Because it was still working, as you can tell. Still charges fine. It holds at least a week or so, probably 2 weeks or more. So the battery's absolutely fine. But yeah, that's all it was. So it's just such a shame you have to mash the back just to get it out. But I'll try and make that good. Probably put some silicone sealant around here to make it water resistant-ish again. And I'll stick it into the spares with the other one. So I've got a couple of spares now, or like, you know, travel ones. So at least they're, you know, okay if you damage them further or you lose them. At least you're not going to be too worried if it's a backup. But yeah, so there we go. So interesting. Can't believe that's all it was. Tiny screw got loose. But yeah, in the end, Philips sent me another. So fair play to them. Warranty had come through good. There we go. Thanks for watching anyway. Cheers. So I've just put it back together. Slots in perfectly fine there. And I've made good the back a little bit, taken out some of the bumps, pushed it in fully, and I'll just seal around there with something, and then here we go. Absolutely perfect. So a good spare, that one.